an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So, good evening, Bars Unlocked community. We are excited to have you all with us today. This is Bars Unlocked, where we tell the stories behind the cell. We give you a better understanding of what happens with those that are incarceration in effect. So, we're happy to have you here. And today is going to be an amazing, amazing story that we're going to hear from prison to properties. All right. So what's happening? Keeping it real, Drew. What's happening?
Man, ain't nothing. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm ready. It's National Donate Life Month, and I'm excited. So let's get it.
Okay. So we're gonna get right into it today because we're so happy to have this guest along with us. So hold on just a second so you can get this intro.
This is me 4 years ago, and this is me today. See, I wasn't always like this though. I grew up in a small town with no dad because my dad, he was in prison. He did 20 years in prison. So me, I was raised by the streets. I grew up listening to the rappers, wanting to be like a rapper, wanting the money, wanting the cars, and that type of lifestyle. But what the rappers don't tell you is that type of lifestyle come with prison. So I set up in prison and I hustled. I sold honey buns and cakes and sodas. I went to a job every day and stacked my money up. And one day, my son came to visit me in the exact same prison that I visited my dad at. When I got back to my cell that night, I cried. I broke down and I changed. I put down all the James Patterson. I got away from the TV and I started educating myself, mostly on real estate. And when I got out, I moved to a city where I didn't know a soul. The only person I knew was my landlord. I asked him if he had a building for sale, and he sold me this duplex.
All right. It is great excitement that I introduce to our esteemed guest, Donald Hinton. Donald's journey is one of resilience, reinvention, federal and state prison. Donald faced countless challenges. However, instead of allowing his past to define him, he chose to harness his skills and determination to create a better future. Even behind bars, Donald remained focused on his entrepreneur aspirations. With integrity, ingenuity, and perseverance, he transformed his business mindset into a legal venture, laying the groundwork for a new chapter in his life. Since release, he has achieved incredible success as a real estate investor, owning an impressive portfolio. His passion for real estate to share his journey in his book, Prison to Properties, inspiring others to overcome adversity and pursue their dreams. So join us as we delve into Donald's inspiring story of transformation from incarceration to entrepreneurship. His journey serves as a testament to the power of relentless determination and the unwavering belief in the possibility of redemption. So let's welcome our guest today, Mr. Donald Hinton.
Welcome, sir.
What's up, y'all?
All right.
I appreciate that intro. That was a good one.
Okay, yay! We are good, so we're gonna get straight into it. I'm already impressed by everything that I've already heard, and I end up finding you on Facebook. I don't know how, but I said, oh my God, his story. And so just seeing the different things you post, so I was intrigued by that. So if you can kind of give us a little bit of the journey before incarceration and what did that look like as far as life, and then those decisions that you made that landed you to be incarcerated.
Okay, so you covered it mostly up in the intro, but I grew up in a small town, and my dad was in prison, so I didn't have those role models around.
Okay.
I didn't have those role models around, so I had to, find it out myself. So I was in the streets. My cousins and all of them, they misguided me, and it landed me in prison. But the thing about it was like we didn't know we was doing something wrong. We were just doing what we was doing. You know what I mean? So it was all we knew. So if that's all you know, then that's all you're gonna do. So that's what I love to do. I love to teach something new. So that's kind of where I'm headed to.
Okay, so after being on the street and then you getting caught up, how did it feel going through the court process and that first day entering into prison?
Well, that's a good question. So my first time ever going to jail, I was like 16, and I went to jail for something I did not do. So I had to go through the court process to get relief from to get those charges dropped. You know, they tried to say I was it was a mob action robbery. They tried to say I was in the mob, but I never left the porch. You know what I mean? So the girls told the police and the investigators that he wasn't part of. He didn't even leave. Like, so that was my first experience with jail, the courts, and all of this stuff. So whenever I got my federal time, I had caught a couple other charges. You know, like little minor weed charges and stuff like that. I was selling weed most of my life. I wasn't doing nothing like crazy. I wasn't out here robbing people and all of that stuff. So I did a couple weed charges and stuff like that. So I kind of knew the court process, but the federal system is way different. The federal system is double jeopardy, just to put it plain and clear, because they charged me with all of those little bags of weed I had, all of those driving
Separately, individually.
Yeah, they recharging you, be like stacking it up against you. So that federal process was different.
When you say recharge, can you clarify what you mean, recharge you? Because that sounds like being charged twice for the same thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they doing. So like let's say I catch a charge for a bag of weed. All right, I go to jail, I do my time. I get out, and then I catch a DUI. I go to jail, I do my time. So when you catch federal time, they like, all right, I catch a federal case for a gun. So a gun is 5 years, but they're gonna be like, since you caught this bag of weed and this DUI, we're giving you 6 years. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's a point system. So basically, like, if you've been like doing bad your whole life and you got 17 points, you're gonna get more time than me, who only have 1 point.
I understand now the point system. So they add in the points on. So each charge brings a specific point.
Yeah, each charge bring another point. Like even
Was
if
you aware of that?
Even if you done went in and served that time on that charge, and
It's
yeah,
still
so when you
factored
catch the
in?
federal case, okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, I didn't even know that.
yeah, so you hear a lot of people talk about like they giving him more time than they giving him. Like
Right.
they might say a white dude got more time than this black dude, but this black dude done got 6 weed charges, a DUI, and all of this stuff. So that's why he get more time. It is racial, but for the most part, it's like that's the way they set it up, and that's why we just
And
keep.
most people don't know that right there.
Yeah,
They automatically think that
I didn't know.
the white person and the black person getting different charges based on strictly race. When you just explain that it's, you know, a point system or your past charges that's gonna count against you actually.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted. It is sometimes,
It's-
racial,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like that's the way the system is
Right.
structured for that.
We know the scales are not
And
always
especially when we do so
balanced.
much state time.
Yeah,
So much state time, like you said, I with them going to jail so many times just statewide, and they thinking, oh, it's just okay. Because I've worked with people that have been arrested 20 times. You know, they done went to jail 20 times. So now they probably just thinking, oh, okay, I'm good. But if they ever do something with a federal charge, they may not even understand that it can be a long time for me because I done been here 20 times.
yeah,
Right.
And without anybody
Yeah.
ever saying those things matter. It's a lot.
yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. So how were you feeling as a young man just going into prison? What was your mindset?
It's it's borderline scared and exciting because you don't know what to expect. So when I got there, when I got my Fed time, because that's the longest I did. I did like 4 months before then, but when I got that Fed time, it was borderline scared and exciting at the same time. But like in that introduction, I told you that my dad did 20 years. So when my dad got out, I was going in. So they was exchanging us. Yeah. So
Wow.
when I talked to my dad, he told me, hey, just start a store. You know what I mean? That was like his advice to me, how to navigate it. So me get in there, I just started a store. I was a hustler, so I was doing everything, man. I was braiding hair, I was cooking, I was doing everything, selling whatever. So that was like my experience, but it was like that's what you did every day. I was hustling every day. So what's the hustle now? Like, what do I do now? Like that was like my mindset. So whenever I got in there, it was just like exciting, but at the same time, sad because you about to be gone for a while. It was a whole lot of emotions.
Now that's a new emotion. I have never heard somebody say it was exciting. I need to I want to understand that when you say exciting, because prison time, when you think about prison time, you're away from family, friends. Like you said, your dad had just came home from doing 20 years. I mean, that's 2 decades.
Mhm.
And so when you say exciting, because I don't want nobody to get the wrong, understanding, like, because prison is not exciting.
No.
Yeah, right. So what
Yeah.
you mean? Because you was doing Fed time, because you know how in our community, oh, he did Fed time. So I'm trying to see, because we got to let others know, because in our community, for whatever reason, it's some type of notching your belt if you're from the hood and you done did Fed time. So
Yeah.
when you say exciting, what you mean?
And that's what I mean, because I'm about to see about what it's about. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, I didn't know what to expect. And everybody say, oh, you going Fed? You going Fed? All right, well, let's go. Like, it was like, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect. So
you don't know if you're gonna see Al Pacino in there. You don't know if you're gonna see the mob bosses.
Yeah, but I had just I was already locked up for 2 years in the state. So now everybody talking about you about to go Fed and I'm about to go to this new place, and that's why it's exciting. It ain't exciting like nothing to be proud of,
right?
Nothing, but it's just like just getting up out of there, going somewhere new, seeing something, experience something new.
In your opinion, is doing Fed time better than doing state time in terms of like the programs they have, in terms of medical treatment? Because we hear about the medical treatment in the state prisons, and we done talked about it, right, Dr. C? Keeping it real, Drew. We done talked about the
Yeah.
medical conditions, and so when you do Fed time, in your opinion, in your experience, do you feel like it's better than doing state time?
That's a good question. And ain't no prison good, but yes, and the reason why is because the programs, and like you said, like the people and the programs is totally different. If you do time in the state, right, you're gonna be in there with the people that stuck up the liquor store, the people that's selling the petty dope and stuff like that, right? But then
Right.
whenever you go to the feds, you up in there with the kingpins and the people that's doing embezzlement for $200 million. You know what I mean? The whole conversation is different, right? And then the programs, they got the programs where the people is teaching us. Like I was going to ACE classes. ACE classes is adults continuing education. You know, they got classes about real estate, stock market,
Okay.
understanding financial peace and things like that. So you
Wow.
got this guy that was a hedge fund manager or a banker teaching you about real estate, right?
Okay.
He's done it. He did it, right? So those are the type of people you rubbing shoulders with. What I say about the feds is, if I would have never went fed, I wouldn't be in this position, because I would
Wow.
have never picked up a real estate book. I would have never met a banker that tell me, "Hey, do this, 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 and you got your career."
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's just the caliber of people that you run across in the feds that change you if you want to change.
I
It's all,
like that.
it's all there for you, but you
Yeah.
gotta want it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. So I've been seeing, like I was saying earlier, that just following you on Facebook and the things that you've been able to do, as you was doing the real estate classes. So what did you do to prepare yourself for getting out to do what you're doing now? So outside of just the classes, because when I be talking to people, I talk about writing down a plan. Like, you have
Right.
the time, don't let it be dead time. So
Yeah.
how did you prepare yourself outside of just the class to do what you're doing now?
All right, that's a great question. So my routine consisted of, I go to work. I worked at Unicor. Unicor is like whenever you see in movies how people making license plates and stuff.
Yeah.
That's Unicor. Like
Okay.
we lit. What I was doing was, so the federal system, they do all the stuff for all of the alphabet organizations. So if the FBI need new chairs, Unicor order it for them.
Okay.
If the Navy need new cable cords for their helicopters and Humvees, we make it for them. If they need bulletproof vests, we make it for them, right?
Right.
But that's what Unicor does. I worked in the accounting department, so I was paying all of the bills for the lights. I was paying the bills for when they order all of these wires and all the rubber to make the wires and stuff like that. So I was the accountant. I worked in accounts payable. So now you got a drug dealer that's now an accountant, right? That's
Right.
sitting in prison getting money. You know what I mean? That's the recipe for Donald Hinton, right? So I would go to work every day. We make about $200 a month. I would get off work. I would go to my cell, and I would sell honey buns and cookies and stuff for the rest of the night, right? So now I don't have to spend any money. So now all of my money is being saved, and then the honey buns and cookies is just keeping me alive, so I can eat and buy some new clothes and shoes if I need them. So that's kind of how my daily life was. So while I'm in there selling honey buns and cookies, I'm reading books about real estate. Rich Dad, Poor Dad changed my life. Um, so that was my daily routine. So now whenever I get out of prison, I saved all of this money. I learned all of these things. And 5 months after I got out, I asked my landlord, hey man, you got a building you want to sell? And he sold me my first duplex. I had like $10,000 saved up when I got out. So that's what I did with it. I threw it all on real estate and went from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you was making $200 a month.
200, yep.
Wow. And you was working in accounts payable and you saved up $10,000 while educating yourself in the prison and came home and asked your property manager, just what made you ask him? Where he had owned a lot of properties? I mean, you just.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was in the halfway house and it was a list of landlords and I was like, let me call this one. I called him. I was like, man, I'm up in the halfway house though. He was like, yeah, I'll rent to you. Just give me. I think he taxed me like 2 months, 3 months rent. Like he wasn't playing. He don't be playing about that bread.
Right.
He changed my life. But
oh wow.
He gave it to me, and at this time, matter of fact, he gave me an apartment building, right? And I lived in an apartment for that 5 months. So that 5 months, I was doing the stock market. I was learning about the stock market. Trump was up in there manipulating them, making them go up and down.
Yeah.
I was eating off Trump, man. I'm not political at all, and I don't like no racist people, but Trump let me out of prison 6 months early.
Come on.
And he was manipulating the market where I was.
Yeah, he was.
I don't care like what y'all think about it, what he think about me. Like me and Trump got history. Like he helped me. Like I ain't gonna vote for him or nothing. But if he get back in, I ain't gonna be mad. But,
oh wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm talking about, I'm amazed to know that you saved up $10,000. It's people that's free walking around every day and don't have $10,000 saved. That granted, you was in prison, and of course you didn't have the everyday bills to pay. But I'm just saying I'm proud.
So as you were learning the real estate market, and now you done start dabbling in the stock market, how did that help formulate you expanding in your real estate business and getting more properties?
Well, with the properties, so the after I bought the duplex, I spent all my money. I ain't had no more money to put in the stock market, so I spent my last on the duplex. It was a duplex, so I live in one, and then my tenant pays the mortgage, right?
Right.
Now I'm essentially doing the same thing I was doing in prison. I'm living for free and going to work, saving all my money again.
Right.
So now I done saved, and now I got a 401k. And some lady, we was giving her a ride home. She was like, I'm trying to sell my house. I was like, what you want for it? This was a year after I was out. So she said 25,000. I'm like, oh, 25,000. You only need 5 bands. You can have this thing. So I cashed out my 401k and bought that one too. You know what I mean? So
amazing.
So I bought that one, and then it had equity. So I pulled the equity out of that, bought another one, and then I was refinancing one, and then the lender, she was like, I know where it's a whole portfolio at.
Wow.
So I got creative with that one, and I bought 11 more. So now I'm on my 14th one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's the way. That's that mentality that changes lives. To keep pushing and to keep going and keep stacking. Now you're business minded, fresh out of prison, jump right off the porch and got your first property in 5 months. Yeah. Man, you know what you're doing. You're a great example for people who's coming out and need somebody to look at. You that guy, man.
But it's just like people, like if they look at that, they're gonna be like, dang, anybody could do this. But you gotta remember, I was in that cell reading this stuff, analyzing this stuff. I was actually doing it in prison. Like I would look at the newspaper and be like, all right, this property going for 50,000. All right, let me see what's the rents around this part. all right, this is a good deal. You know what I mean? So I'm in the newspaper doing this. I'm in the newspaper doing the stock market. Like, all right, today the stock traded this. So it is people want it, but they want it overnight. But it
Right.
wasn't overnight for me. I sat in the cell for 5 years reading about this stuff. So 5 months me getting out is because I already seen it in my mind. I could already analyze that property.
Right.
So that's kind of like what people don't see is like it's not overnight.
Like you said, it was a process. You developed a mindset when you were in prison to apply yourself, obtain information. And like you said, that was 5 years. Y'all just see the 5-month process, but the 5 years is what it took,
Yeah.
to put you in that incubator to get you right,
Yeah,
and
man.
then you still had to come home and deal with the same opposition. I'm sure your peers out here, your friends, your family members, the people that you were engaged in, relationships of whatever sort when you was out. How did you navigate? Okay, now you got this change mindset. You done learned this information. Okay, you in a halfway house making moves. How was you able not to get caught up back into the same lifestyle? Now you know a lot of information. Like you said, you in the feds, you in there with the big homies. They
Yeah.
teaching you all scams and everything. I'm sure of it.
Well,
Wait,
they actually don't teach you scam.
They don't teach you scams.
No, because we don't want you back up in there. So they wouldn't even teach me nothing illegal. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
what I loved about it. Like
Right.
we're not here to get you back in here, man. We
Right.
trying to keep you out. So do this,
Right.
do this, do that. You know. But
Do it
that's
the right way.
Yeah, and that's a good question you asked. The way that the reason why I didn't fall back into the same old stuff
Mhm.
is because I moved. I moved to a town where I didn't know nobody.
You physically moved to a new lake. You changed your location.
Yes, I don't know nobody in this city, and it's a bigger city. So
Mhm.
now I come from a small town. I never seen a skyscraper. Like, I didn't seen them over in St. Louis, but I come from a small town. So me coming to this big city, seeing these skyscrapers, seeing people actually out moving, nightlife, you know what I mean? So now I'm in a different spot. I know some stuff where I don't have to sell dope again. So even if I did, I wouldn't know where to get it from because I'm not messing with them type of people.
Right.
Right.
So that's how I stayed out. I know probably now I know who's selling it and I could probably see it like in the streets, like, but
It's still there.
yeah, I'm not going that route because I know
That's-
something better. So that was a good question you asked. The way that I stayed out was I changed my environment. I didn't go back to what I knew because they would have put a pack in my hand like, what's up, Donald? You back? Here you go. Get on your
Right.
feet. You know what I mean? So I moved. I put my back against the wall where either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. And
All
I'm
right.
swimming.
I
Yes,
love
sir.
that. So Dr. C, we asked the question, why I asked the question, how was he able to stay out basically and not get entangled back again with his old neighborhood and friends? And the brother said he changed his whole atmosphere. He moved to a place he didn't know anybody. That's scary, but that's encouraging at the same time. Let you know sometimes you got to change your atmosphere. You got to get out of the city, the state, the environment, the job, the all of that in order for God to catapult you into your future. So I think that's important. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
And even with people, so some people may watch this may say, well, I wasn't incarcerated, so I don't really have to change my environment. I can be around people. No, that goes for even anybody that hasn't been incarcerated.
Even if you're a regular person just living your life, if
Right.
you're in the wrong environment, you're around the wrong people, it has the same residual effect that coming out of prison, going back to the streets had.
Y'all heard what she said at the end, though, right?
Yeah.
If she would have stayed in her hometown,
If she was in Albany, she would have been on some different thing because she'd
Right.
been around some different people. So
Exactly. So, because even the Bible say evil communications corrupt good manner, and communication in the Bible means lifestyle. So if you entangle with anybody with a wayward lifestyle, friends, family members, it doesn't matter. It could be it could be a significant other. They can cause you to downfall. So changing the atmosphere. You know what? That might be a note. I need to take a chapter. I need to take out your book, young man. Changing atmospheres.
Yeah, man.
So what are some of the things you're working on in the future you got coming up?
All right, so I wanted to make a new book. My old book is called From Prison to Properties.
Yes.
So it's basic financial literacy. I felt I didn't, I'm not an author, so I didn't know what to do, but I feel like I can do it better. So I want to make a new one, and I wanted to be more about the stock market and what you do with the money when you get the money. You put it into real estate. So basically, like combine them both together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. You said you're not an author. So you know how some of us want to write books, but we're so afraid of grammar and just not being able to get the message across to the audience.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging within itself. I'm not an author, but I know I can make another book and I can make it better, and I'm gonna include stocks and I'm gonna do this. You doing your thing. I just got to put a spotlight on that. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, just hire somebody that do. And that's what I did with my first one. Like I knew I wanted to write a book, but I ain't know where to go. So I just hired somebody. So that's what you do.
So it's no excuse out there. It's no excuse.
No. And then if you ain't got the money, I just used the credit card. I didn't have no money. Like I used the credit card just because I've been doing all this stuff don't mean I'm sitting around with a whole pocket full of money that I want to spend. So use a credit card. Use other people's money. That's the route. Like you ain't got to use your own money for nothing these days. Nothing.
Absolutely. So what's the book called again? It's From Prison to Properties?
Yeah, From Prison to Properties. And it's
where
on
can
Amazon.
Where can our audience find this book?
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basic financial literacy. It got a little bit of my story, but for the most part, I just wanted to give people like the basics. But I want to switch it up next time and give people like the story.
Yeah, because your story is important, and the way and where you came from and to where you are now, and the things you're doing, the things you have planned doing is very exciting, and people need to hear about that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So the real estate company, how is it doing? I know we're in the economy right now. A lot of things are transpiring, so how's real estate now in 2024?
It's not bad. Like my real estate, I'm not selling that. I'm not fixing flipping. I just bought a whole bunch and I'm holding them, right? So they bringing me money every month, right? So it's not bad. Inflation is bad. So that's not bad on me. That's bad on tenants, because now that inflation is bad, the price of plumbing is more, the price of taxes is more, the price of your rent has to be more, right? So
absolutely.
I hate to have to raise it, but I had to, because
I understand.
Business is business. We live in a capitalistic society where like that's what it is. But I encourage everybody to, get them a rental, live in one, have somebody else pay off the other. That's the easiest way, because your rent is your biggest expense. That's the thing you're paying for. If you can get that gone, what's the possibilities? What can you do? So I encourage everybody that everybody want that nice, big, beautiful house. I do too, but it ain't time yet. We gotta get something before we can get, that. So I encourage everybody to just start investing.
So you was talking about go ahead, Holly. I got to get
so
my
keep
question.
It real, you done lost his train of thought. That's that old man stuff. That's that
oh, that's that you see it. That's that old man stuff.
It's that old man stuff. That's that gray and that beard, young man. So let me ask you a question. So you got 14 properties. That's a nice portfolio right there. I used to work for a company where after they originated the loans, we would service the accounts, and they had a nice portfolio too. So 14 properties. So are these properties located? Are they up north? Are they spread about?
Well, right where I live on the border of Iowa and Illinois. So they all in Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in a quad city, so it's 4 cities connected to one. I live over here. I got 3 over here, and then I got 11 over there.
Are you still in that same city you moved to that caused the change in your life?
I'm in that same house. I haven't moved. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been living for free for the last 4 years.
That's what's up.
I love it.
Hey, so this is the question I always ask all the guests. I was thinking, what is your message to the younger people, or either people doing, time or on their way to doing time? What would you tell someone just right at that point where you were a while ago before you went into prison?
I would say learn something new. Just learn something new. Like, that's the key. We not learning nothing new. Like, we looking at our friends, they doing the same thing we doing. That ain't nothing new. Like, learn something new. Don't be scared to get around some different people. Don't be afraid to get around a person that wear a tie, right? They wearing a tie for a reason, because they have to look a certain way to go into this certain spot. You know what I mean? So get around some new people, learn some new things, and your life will change.
That's amazing. And how old are you?
I'm
May I
35.
ask? 35 years old with
Yeah.
14 properties, did state and prison time,
Yeah.
came home and living it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you the real boss man, D-Lo. We got to get in with you.
Get in. Come
We got
on,
to get
man.
in with you.
Hey, I done told him I'm coming. I done told him. I told him too. We talked about a lot of things. He know what he's doing. He
35.
know how to make it move. So, hey.
I'm talking about, that's leadership. That's amazing. I mean, all in itself. So, like, far as the youth, those who you see, I'm not sure how it is where you live at. I know where we live at, the crime rate is crazy here. A lot of gang violence, a lot of youth having to prove points. They want to, show one another. I never understood the gang mentality. Everybody trying to prove to one person that I don't know. But when you see, I mean, in your place where you live at, do you see the youth going through the crime? I mean, what do you do when you see a young man on the street selling drugs? I mean, are you compelled to talk to him? How is that?
So for one, like, I haven't been doing it lately, but for like a whole year, I was going into the juvenile center and I was talking to them. But it's just like I had a lot going on. I was a single father, so I had to spend more time with my son. But it was like, because he was going to go down that route if I'm not there, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So it was like I was going into the juvenile center like once or twice a month and just talking to them, not telling them what to do, just telling them, showing them a different route, showing them a book. I made this book for $2,000, right?
Wow.
I made this book for $2,000.
Wow.
And I probably made about 10 off of it. Right?
Come on.
So if you just show them something like that, now they know something different, right? They don't know nothing different. That's all they know. So I was going to there, talking to them. Whenever I see them, I know who they are. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, I need my grass cut. I need you to do this. I need you to help me. One of them helped me remodel my house. Just anything I can do to show them something different. Not tell them. I ain't gonna tell them nothing. I'm just going to show them.
You're gonna show them. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I can tell them all day. Like I go into the high schools and I talk, but the ones that really want it, they the ones that reach out. So a couple of them reached out whenever they turned 18. We got them some credit established. We working on their business plans and stuff like that. So I can only do
so much
for the people that want it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I can't help everybody. I can only help the ones that want it. So I do my duties. I do my part. But until they reach out, it really ain't nothing I can do. So I know they want it. Like they don't want to be in the streets like that, but they don't know nothing else. So they reach out to me all the time.
Okay.
And you are so right. You right when you said they don't know nothing else, and you keep saying show them, because telling them, talking, I think this generation, they don't want to hear all that talking. They want to see action. They want to see the results. They want to see, okay, what have you done to overcome? So, and I don't blame them. All that talking, I want to see action, like, period. So, and you have done a whole year of going in there. That's you sow seeds. So you don't know what's going to come out those seeds that you sown, So that's a beautiful thing that you give back when you can. And like you said, the ones who want it, because you ain't trying to force nothing down nobody's throat.
Yeah, one of them just hit me up last week. Like, I was there in 2020, whenever you was coming to. Yeah, he just got
It's
out of
4
prison.
years later. 4
Yeah.
years later, that's seed.
He went to prison and just got out. So he like, man, I remember you, man. I want to do it. Like if they want it, they'll reach out, but you just can't force it on them because I
So
didn't change until I wanted to change. You know what I mean?
Right.
so how can people reach you if they want to get in touch with you and have a conversation or learn about the stock market or real estate? How can people reach you on your social media site?
I mostly use Facebook, so mostly Facebook. I'm on all of the platforms, but Facebook would be easiest to hit me up. Just inbox me.
So what's the name of your Facebook?
It's just my name, Donald Hinton.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said you're just on you utilize Facebook. What about Instagram or any of the other platforms?
Yeah, my Instagram is Donald Hinton. YouTube is Donald Hinton. TikTok is From Prison to Properties.
Okay.
With my name. Yeah, I'm on them all, but
You mostly engage on Facebook.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's about time for the news.
What's going on in these streets out here?
I got a little video because this is a question. Sometimes people want to know, and they ask me all these questions. So,
hey y'all, I miss y'all so much. I'm probably gonna slide with this one, y'all, but this is my last Easter in here. So happy Easter, y'all. So I have to celebrate. I got the double decker strawberry. Looking good, y'all. Check me out. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
So a lot of people want to know when I drop all these videos that I find on TikTok and people are cooking. So people ask these questions all the time, like how they able to do all of these things, incarcerated.
That's the store man right there. The store man know how they do it.
So that's why I wanted to show that video, is because some people they are being creative around, what they're doing.
I saw a strawberry cake. I saw some things.
Yeah, that's real, man. That's real. They be up in there getting creative. So if you want to know how they do it, they steal it out the kitchen. So, I did that. I did it every weekend. Every weekend I would make fried burritos and all of these things. So what happens is the people in the kitchen cooking, like you might get onions and bell peppers and sugar and flour and all of this stuff, eggs. So they would, in the feds, they would get a waist trainer, like a girdle, like something like that, and then just stuff it down there, all around there. On me, they come out looking like the Michelin Man, just looking all good. But they come back to the cell, to the block, and then sell them to the store mans and to the people that cook and stuff like that. So that's real. Yeah.
That's another hustle. That's a whole nother hustle right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you ever cook? Did you cook things instead for sale?
Yeah, I did it every weekend. Every weekend. So what I would do is I would fry. So like fried chicken, fried burritos, fried stuff like that. I would fry. So they would get the grease, the like the Crisco, the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Bring me that. And they got pottery classes where they making ceramics and stuff. So I would have a ceramic bowl, and then I would make something called a stinger. A stinger is basically like you know how the toaster get red hot?
Yeah.
We using like an industrial plug-in cord, cut it and make coils. That's the easiest way I can explain it. I would stick the coils in the grease, warm it up, get it hot, and then now I got fried grease. Like so I would make burritos. My favorite was the pizza kind. Like the mugs was good. I think I might make some.
Oh no!
But yeah, man, that's real. We do that every week. Then you got other people making like illegal stuff like wine, and then you got people making like the sweets, like candy and stuff like that. But yep, that's real.
I'm talking about brilliant minds.
And I look at it as all the inventions that are sitting in prison. So I end up creating what's called I Move Inventors Program. So I started with the juveniles and showing them you could take that mindset and create an invention. So we had a guest 2 weeks ago. He's a patented inventor, but he did his invention while he was in our class.
Wow.
Incarcerated. So now, nobody can take that away from him. So it's so many inventions, but people don't know. Like I was talking to someone that's in state prison, and they was telling me how they cook because that's what they do to make money because they're not gonna sell any drugs because they don't want any more time. They already spent land. So the thing that he drew out that he wanted to create is how he used it in there to cook. So I said, well, let's work on this being a real invention. So people camping and all of that can actually use the same equipment. So now that mindset of I'm an inventor, they are inventors. It's a lot of inventors. Look, you just told us some stuff. You might be an inventor. And it can be utilized. And what sometimes African Americans don't know is that, being incarcerated, you can be a business owner. You can own different things. They think once you go there that you can't do any of those things because you're still incarcerated. No, you just have to have somebody that can assist you that's not there, but you still can become successful business owner, do all those amazing things even before you get home. So I just want to throw that out to y'all because she got strawberry cake and everything else.
I'm trying to tell you. Look.
That thing look good.
I know it was good too.
And he sound like he wants some prison food right now.
Look, he like, hey, I want one of them pizza burritos. What's up?
That sounds good though.
All right, so we're gonna move into our segment of the news. Now we're on what is the news that's going on now so that our people can, stay aware.
Okay, so today we talking about the law coming up legalizing of the marijuana. My personal thoughts is this is like a double-edged sword because, and one thing that's good is take a lot of charges away from people. People won't get locked up for it. But on the other end, it's gonna cause some kind of rift because now what is the regular weed man gonna do when he when he competing against the government? It's gonna cause a little issue now because now the weed gonna dry up on the streets. They gonna want that government produced marijuana, and so it may be a different kind of crimes going on in the streets because of that. So I'm gonna throw it to y'all. What y'all think about that?
And it's for the state of Florida, so it is on the ballot in November. And this is Florida, a tourist state. All of those things people have to see all of that. Because what's gonna happen is, and our guest talked about it a little bit before, now you're gonna have an influx of people that do go vote just because recreational marijuana is on the ballot.
Right.
But they're not thinking about everything else that entails. They're not thinking about legislation that passed that's against returning citizens. They're not thinking about any of that. They just know, marijuana finna be legal. I can light up anywhere, so I'm finna, and I can vote. They're not gonna make educated votes and know that, to see if this gonna harm me, if it's gonna, be better for me. And like Drew said, keeping it real, Drew said, like, what's gonna happen is people gonna start selling more fentanyl and crack cocaine, or then if they don't and they say, well, I don't want to do that kind of time, where the job's gonna be, especially if this person has sold weed or sold marijuana, sold any of the smaller drugs for 15 years. That's the skill they have. They haven't worked on a job. So now what are you going to be doing for them? That's just my thoughts.
I didn't even think of it like that, keeping it real, Drew and Dr. C. I didn't even think that if the government, takes over that particular, sector or whatever, selling the weed and they make it legal. I didn't think about the ones that have been selling weed to sustain, pay their rent, get by. I didn't even think about what happens to them. Would they go to higher drugs? Are they going to start dealing with the fentanyl? What the job? We already have job issues now, so I don't know. I didn't think about it like that. I gotta think on that some more.
Because I think once the street drugs drying up, they're gonna start having to, like you said, move to higher drugs or get a real job, or and
which is a good thing to get a job.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. But most of them don't think like that. They think like, dang, I got to create another hustle.
Right.
So, so where I'm at, I'm in right there by Illinois. So Illinois legalized it. Just got their first dispensaries and all of this stuff, but it didn't affect the streets. It didn't affect the streets because they taxing for that government stuff. So people that's really smoking every day, you know what I mean? They not about to be taxed every day. They might go get some every once in a while, but they sticking to they mans.
You don't think the quality of it make the difference though? Like
they say that it's the same. It's the same. That's what they say. So I don't smoke, so I don't know.
Right.
It ain't.
So I think if they were smart, they might try to get together and start a dispensary or produce their own marijuana, grow it. I mean, that'll be the smart thing to do.
Yeah. If they were smart. But how many drug dealers take their money, really invest their money into a profitable company like a dispensary? It would be smart. Mm-hmm. It would be smart, but
they said, like, from what I heard, is like it's hard to get. It's rigged against us. Like
systematically set up for us to lose.
Huh?
You saying it's systematically set up for us to lose?
No, it's just it's systematically set up where a black person not about to get no dispensary license.
Okay, that's respect.
Yeah, so it's like levels too, but yeah, that's like
that's wild.
From the people that I know that's really actually legitimate trying to do something, that we ain't getting one no time soon. We will eventually.
Right. Are you saying it's because of the color of our skin is the reason why this is not being allowed for us?
Well, yeah, like they not about to let no black people like open up no dispensary in the city where we about to sell all of this weed. Nah.
Yeah. Okay, cause where they gonna go? Holly P, who shop they gonna go to? The big person, the corporation that already make all the money, or they gonna go to JoJo around the corner with his dispensary? Who gonna make the most money?
Mm-hmm.
JoJo.
The
JoJo gonna make the most. Girl, they gonna go to JoJo and support JoJo business.
You talking about in our community?
Yeah.
I mean, just anywhere if they allow African American or some of them, to get together.
Oh yeah, I support black-owned business. I'm a black-owned. I support all business, but I do lean more towards us, because I know how it's a deficit in our community. So yeah, I'm going to support JoJo.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the problem.
They won't let JoJo get the dispensary.
They ain't gonna let JoJo in. Johnny gonna be up there. You gonna get that from Johnny.
So
it's hard.
So definitely you all that are listening, more than just voting, we want you to make educated votes. Make sure that the people that are representing your community, your state. You know that the big election is coming up in November. So we want you to make sure that when you're looking at these things and you're making judgment, that you're not making surface judgments about what it is that you need to do. And just at all times, not just during this time, but all times. If you have city council, know who your city council person is, know who your state representatives, your senators, and your Congress people are, and understand the things that they're doing and the decisions that they're making for you on a daily basis. As I tell people here, there are 19 people that decide what you do in our city. Do you know those people? And I've been amazed, it's just been where I want to inform different people. Sometimes I ask ones that have been incarcerated, well, who's the sheriff? None of them can tell you who the sheriff is or who the sheriff was. And so we want you to just be aware if you're out here and you're able to vote and you're able to make change. If you're not able to vote wherever you are in the world, also just be an advocate. If you've already been incarcerated, be an advocate so that things can change. You don't have to only vote to make change about in your city or your community. So That was our breaking news. And so we're going to go to our Bars Unlocked Extra really quickly. And this is where we just talk about something else. And so because we have Mr. Hinton on here today and we're talking about real estate, you know, we wanted to just understand what's going to happen, you know, for people to understand what happens for those that come out of incarceration that can't afford to have somewhere to live. You know, most of them are not coming out making money. Most people we know do state time. They're not getting a check. They not making $200. They almost like free. They probably making 50 cents. And so what does that look like with the housing crisis that we already have? Like what's gonna be, especially we talked about the feds allowing, what was it, 18,000 people with the new law that just passed. 18,000 people are getting ready to be released from the feds. So what is that gonna look like as far as housing for people that were once incarcerated?
It's gonna be bad because, you know, like most of them then probably messed up with the people that they know, you know, so they ain't about to be able to go there, you know. So my advice to people is, you know, take advantage of those halfway houses, take advantage of all of that support that they be trying to give you. We don't be wanting to go to the halfway house and stuff like that, but that's really in position to help us, you know. Like that's what it's there for. So I would have to say, like, take advantage of that and you know, be focused, be committed to your mission.
Do you think it's a bias against returning citizens when it comes to rentals and just maybe purchasing a property?
Yeah, because the upscale ones, they gonna do that criminal report, right? My criminal report, I was in prison for so long that it didn't capture. You know, I caught my case in 12, so when I got out in 20, it was just like, all right, he ain't had no charges, you know. So, but the people that's been caught 2 drug charges in the last 2 years, that been in prison twice, they look at that. That's how the criminal background check work. If you keep going to prison in a short amount of time, that's when it's gonna register. But it's like you just gotta, if you don't have family, like you have to take advantage of those free resources. But
sounds amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna see what that looks like even for here in the state of Florida, because I know you can't get a public assistance if it's been less than 5 years, so you can't get that help there. And what I'm finding is we have some places that are transitional houses, but the transitional house don't have a program. So it's just people being able to just go there, lay their head, and they can still live the same life. So we have a lot of those, but we don't have the whole program to where you're accountable. You know, we're helping you get your credit straight. We're helping you do all these things to become a homeowner. I don't see a lot of those because, you know, those people that have the houses, a lot of times they don't want to do any of that. It's like, no, I just want to get paid for you to have somewhere to lay your head, and however you get it is how you get it. And so definitely we're going to see how that looks, especially with all the people that are with the new laws that have changed. Well, so this has been really, really good. This has been a good episode. I've learned some things. Definitely, we thank you for staying the whole time with us. We've gotten a lot of information from you. And we wish you much success, future success on this journey and helping so many other people. I know somebody's going to be blessed by this today that are returning citizens. It might be somebody that's incarcerated right now that's going to watch this and they're going to go run to them classes in feds. So we hope that they do. So that way they can be successful coming out. So again, we do thank you for joining us. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is our word of encouragement, bars of hope. So we have to leave you with a little bit of hope, everybody. And so today, let's envision our dreams as properties waiting to be developed. Just as real estate requires patience, diligence, and strategic planning, so does our journeys for hope and transformation. Every setback is an opportunity to build something greater, and every challenge is a chance to strengthen our foundation. Let's invest in our dreams with unwavering faith, knowing that with perseverance and determination, we can turn the barren landscapes of our lives into thriving landscapes of opportunity and success.
Yes.
We're always looking to turn obstacles into opportunities. Keep building, keep believing, and watch as the horizon of hope expands before us. This is Bars Unlock. I am Dr. C, the Purpose Resuscitator, your host, with my co-host, Keeping It Real, Drew, Holly P, aka Ms. Neltings, and our guest for today, Mr. Donald Hinton, from prison to properties. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.